we'll make it work.
Exactly. Do you have set the light from your background? It looked like you have a fucking, like a salty stick. I don't know what you call them.
Pretzel stick?
Exactly. Like from the angle, it looked like you have a pretzel stick in your water glass because it like reflects in the light.
Where?
Like when you drink it, right? It's this yellow. I was like, yo, is this dude really out here with a pretzel stick in his water?
Yeah, it adds a nice flavor to it, don't you know?
Makes sense. Makes sense. You know, some people use lemons and you're out here using pretzel sticks.
Yeah, I mean, wet bread is my favorite food.
Gotta love it. Some wet bread. Gotta
Wet
get
bread? That just sounds like another song we're gonna make. Wet bread.
God, it sounds like, if you drop your wallet in a puddle, it's also some wet bread.
Wet bread. And with red bread. Welcome to Midas Valley Podcast.
This time with video.
Yeah, different setting this week in general.
Yeah, very true. Should we explain real quick why? I mean, just
sure.
To have that. Sometimes it is COVID times, but sometimes being on the safer side is not the wrong thing to do. And I socialized a little bit, so we got to make sure that we all of us stay healthy.
Yeah, and I think the golden rule or the golden thing you should get from this is, you can see whoever you want to see. I mean, like you're not going to see your parents. You're not really involved with the risk group anyway. So, of course you can socialize. But I was going to see my mom this weekend. So that's why we decided not to see each other. But, if you're not going to see anyone of the risk group, you're free to do whatever you want. But then at least be open about it like Philip is right now. And then it should all be fine.
Exactly, because it's one thing to socialize, but it's another thing to be responsible for something way bigger. And I don't want to be in that position. And I say, since then, just been chilling. So yeah, it is how it is,
Yeah. So if you want to make that decision for yourself, you want to see people fine, to be open about it, and then there's no harm.
Exactly. And I think that's a good way of seeing it. But how's your week, man? How's your week?
Yeah, the age-old question. How is
your
exactly. Week been? We don't talk apart from the podcast. We don't really.
I mean,
we don't really see each other. Interesting true. Week. I kind of felt weird at the beginning of the week. Kind of felt like strangled headphones or something. I don't know. I just felt like something was off. So also I haven't really been on the internet that much, so I don't have that many talking points, because I don't know, just kind of felt like I needed some rest time,
Okay.
But I'm good. Not gonna pick up my passport next week, so then I'm not illegal anymore, so that's great.
Yeah, you're illegal immigrant here,
Says the German guy in the Netherlands.
I mean, very dangerous territory.
Yeah, pretty funny. I came back from filing for my passport, and then my roommate said, if you have a passport, you can enter Bosnia illegally again. It's like, I don't need a passport to enter a country illegally. That's not really the issue.
True. But it's kind of what happened with us, right? We got the passport ready, but the dudes were like, nah, you didn't enter this country.
But how's your week been?
Also great, man. Quick thing, like with the podcast last time, I talked about how I like tried out microdosing a little bit, didn't really feel anything, so I said, what, fuck it, I'm eat the back, but like just for myself, I read like a book on the more like the neuroscience of what happens to the brain when someone is on psychedelics, and like a lot about different studies. So I decided, I'm gonna try something, I put like some meditative like spa music on, almost like put a blindfold on. I was like, okay, had to put a crystal on my chest, and was like, okay, show me something spiritual, right? We're like, because like, I mean, with the tarot and everything, I still wouldn't consider myself like a very spiritual person, and
I think you are.
Yeah, but like not in like a really extent, like I wouldn't say I came close to God or whatever, right? And that's like all I've really read in the book. where people said they took truffles or like psilocybin and they felt like they met God, or they kicked their anxiety and they saw like amazing things like in their head. And I never really
Hmm.
had that where I was like blindfolded and like just like, I don't know, seeing what I could see. So I wanted to try it out, but I didn't see shit. I did. I think maybe because it wasn't like vacuum sealed anymore, because I did like take something out of the box like from time to time. Could be like maybe it wasn't that strong. But I still had a
Yeah,
great
or
time.
just a day. You have some days where you take drugs and it just doesn't hit. That
True. I mean,
not that I
could
would
be.
know. I would never.
Yeah, I mean, could be. I
Uh,
still realized I existed, so I had a great time.
that's great. It's good to exist.
Definitely, definitely.
Interesting that you said like spirituality, and I don't really feel like I'm a spiritual person, and people saying they've seen gods. But what is spirituality to you? Can you define spirituality?
I mean, that's a tough task. I don't think spirituality is just necessarily someone is religious. I mean, that's a sort of spirituality, I think, in a way. But I wouldn't compare it, like I wouldn't say that it's the same. But spirituality to me is something that you just believe in something higher than there is, which I necessarily do to a degree, but I don't think like I'm just I don't think I ever had like a really like an experience that made me question things, like whether it's like paranormal or something that you just can't explain or something, right? Where you're just like, oh, this has to be because of that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not doing it for spirituality, but isn't spirituality in the basics just believing in things that aren't tangible and cannot not necessarily be proven? And then I feel like with tarot cards and shit, that has to be spirituality then, right? Because you're
True.
believing in some sort of destiny that's not tangible, and cannot be proven that it's either true or wrong. Like there's no right or wrong. That makes sense.
Yeah, that is true. But I think like the way, at least the way I do tarot card readings now, I mean, of course, like I've been doing it for like what, like almost like I mean, like maybe over half a year now. And I just refined like the way I do tarot cards, and the way I do it now is just more, I don't ever want to really bullshit someone, like I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
be the type of guy that's like, oh yeah, this will happen in your future, like, and exactly that will happen. And I'd rather say what I think the person needs to hear, because I want to make it a positive thing, and I don't want to make someone feel worse after a tarot card reading. If the cards are
Yeah,
bad,
makes sense.
I'm gonna say things that like are I see in the cards, but I always, it's always just a like a direction or a hinge, but never like this is a
Yeah,
fact.
and it's always interpretation, isn't it, with the card reading? So if you want a more positive interpretation, and I guess you can provide that.
Yeah,
I'm not.
very
I'm
true.
not too sure. I mean, I know fuck all about spirituality. Um, but
How
yeah,
do you
interesting.
define it? How do you define
Yeah.
it?
Well, like I just said, believing in something that's not tangible but still true to you,
Okay.
and you know that it can be proven. So yeah, maybe like a belief, but not necessarily a religion.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah,
I
no, I
think
see that.
spirituality can also be like that you believe, oh no, I'm gonna have bad luck if I walk underneath a ladder or something, that type of shit. I think that also fits with spirituality. Or maybe if you feel like, I want to do good in this world, so I'm giving off positive vibes, and therefore I will get positive vibes back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fair point. Yeah, and I
That's also something that's not tangible. You can't really prove, but still people believe in it.
true. Like, what do you believe in, like, personally? Do you believe in any sorts of, spiritual senses then?
I mean, yeah, of course. Like, there's always shit that I can explain, right? Like, if I had to justify everything I do, I wouldn't be able to do so. Like, I wouldn't be able to justify a lot of things I do. I think we experienced that when we did truffles, for example, that a lot of shit we do doesn't really make sense. Like, why would I want to leave? Why would I want to make the world a better place before I die? Because I'm gonna leave anyway, right? Like, why do I want to do that? And I feel like that's some spirituality, or I feel like yeah, I want to make the world a better place. I don't know, like, not gonna get fuck all for it, but it's still something I'm striving for.
Yeah. And I think that's a beautiful way to see spirituality, you know, to just like kind of see it as like a guide or something to like, it makes you, you know, like a motivator to do the things that you do. And I think that's, you know, that's a great way of seeing it.
That's good. And I have somewhat been on the news this week when I started to feel like normal again. And
Okay.
man, it's been a week of cancellation. Feel like we're running out of people to cancel nowadays. Jesus, fuck.
I mean with David Dobrik now, is that what you mean or what
For
exactly?
example, the whole fucking Flock Squad. James Charles is being cancelled. I think we have this Dutch rapper that's being cancelled. Literally cancelled, by the way. The dude is banned uh, from Instagram for life.
What happened?
He was on Instagram live, and he because you can add people in your live sesh, right? And he added a 11-year-old dude in, and he said, "Yeah, if you show your dick, I'll give you like 7,000 or something, 7,000 euros." And then the dude actually showed his dick.
I mean,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
yeah, and he said that he meant it as a joke, but still, man, I don't know. It's a weird thing to ask of someone,
An
and
11-year
it's
old, especially.
yeah, and it's so many legal issues because it's not just uh child pornography, but because he said like, yeah, I will give you 7,000 euros. There's also a case to be made for child prostitution.
Oh,
Yeah, so this dude is
oh.
canceled. Like he lost his record label contract. He he's banned from Instagram for life. And dude was 22, by the way, if you guys were wondering.
Fuck, man. Cancel culture is a crazy thing. A
Yeah, but
crazy
in
thing.
cases like these, I do really
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah, no, I don't want to justify that in any way, shape, or form, man. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
But like, I
and
feel like with David Dobrik, we really hitched like we really reached a point. Like David Dobrik is a person that I think most of us were like, yeah, he's not, you know, he's the sunny boy, you know, he's never
yeah, the
gonna.
laughing dude, like he's just the fun internet guy, right? Why would he do any harm?
And
Yeah.
now he's losing everything right now.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. Like same with the fucking Dutch rapper thing, and I think same with David Dobrik. Like the fucking power dynamic you have when you become this celebrity has to be pretty fucking weird. I don't know. Like
Uh,
especially with like David, where people just wanted to hang out with him to be in the vlogs, to get some exposure. Then whenever you hang out with your friends, there's always this power dynamic, right? Because he can make you famous.
yeah.
Same with the rapper, he's this famous guy. He can get exposure to your dick. I don't know. It shouldn't have happened, man.
Man, he probably the coolest kid at the elementary school now, but shouldn't be, really shouldn't be. Like it's a fucked up situation, man. Damn. Damn.
Yeah,
Um,
and also James Charles, also I think is being cancelled for asking for nudes from a minor, I think.
but isn't this dude like that's probably his fifth time getting canceled? Like I feel like this dude has been through a lot of controversies.
But yeah, it is pedophilia is an interesting topic if you think about it.
Oh God, cancel culture. Well, welcome, and here we are. And
Yeah, here we are talking about cancel culture, and now we're going to talk about pedophilia. Here we go.
I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know. Cancel culture. It's really it's crazy how careful you need to be these days. And I think it's good that we help people accountable for their actions, also online. But it also, live streaming. I think live streaming is the thing where it happens the most, I guess. Because it's just in the
You can't
moment.
undo your mistakes.
You can't edit it, you
Yeah,
know? And someone is gonna clip it and put it on YouTube, put it on Twitter, and then you're done.
forever.
Yeah, you're
It's on the
done.
internet forever.
So it's a very, very dangerous thing, and especially because people can be taken out of context these days. So I don't know, it's a dangerous thing. And I really wonder where we're gonna end up with the whole cancel culture eventually. Like, where is this gonna lead to?
More awareness, I think. Like already that you more are more aware that, I mean, that your actions do have consequences, because I can definitely see that with fame and wealth comes this feeling of being like, I don't know, indestructible or something. Like you can just do whatever the fuck you want and you can get away with it. But
Yeah.
I think cancel culture is kind of showing that, hey, you still have to be accountable.
And I think the general concept of it is really, it's a good thing, and I think we need to be held more accountable. But I don't know, it's also the sheer mass in that it's happening right now, and it's also just, of course, certain situations, something is fucked up, but there are also situations that are kind of subjective or like happen in the heat of the moment, where it's like it's a difficult, of course he shouldn't have said it, but then what, are you really that high morally that you never said something fucked up, right? Only because
Yeah.
there's no recording of you saying it does it make it better.
Yeah, and I think we also shouldn't get to the point where I can kind of see that happening now too. That if mainstream media mentions that someone is being canceled, that we kind of just assume this is a bad person. But same with conspiracy theories. You still got to have a look at the proof, because it's very easy. Well, no, I don't want to say it's easy to make allegations because I have never been in that position myself. But it is possible to make false allegations,
Oh yeah.
and we also should be aware of that.
Oh, 100%.
Because also with the whole Johnny Depp shit, right? He immediately got canceled and shit, and then later
man, how's that
the wife.
situation? Oh, oh, oh
She
no.
also
We'll cut to commercial. Technology.
technology. Hell yeah.
But
Also, it's getting dark so fucking fast. I should have gotten a lamp here. Jesus Christ.
well, it is how it is. We it's the first time we're doing this, and I just have the streaming experience. That's why I have all this set up. But I mean, I didn't really catch your last point, but how's that situation right now? Do you know that, like the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing?
I think Amber Heard now is because Johnny Depp was being canceled by Warner Bros. Right?
Yeah.
I think Amber Heard also got canceled now, but I'm not sure. I vaguely remember reading something like that, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, I mean, that'd be the fair thing that happens. I mean, of course, you can never really tell the full story, and I don't want to judge too quickly. But from what I know about the situation, she does more seem like the bad guy than Johnny does.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it must be fucking crazy to be. I don't know. It's like if it is really the case that Johnny, I'm not saying he's a saint either, but that he didn't uh did the shit that the allegations were about, then it must be so fucking hard to be called a wife beater and shit.
So hard, and especially if she's the one that actually did the beating, right? So that would go
Yeah,
one step further. That'd be
yeah.
twisting it around, and what the fuck do you do, especially as a dude, right? Where it's like that's a difficult situation to get out of.
Yeah. I will
Like,
almost want to say impossible.
yeah, I mean, that's we talk about, of course we can talk about if the world is equality for women, like like, yeah, equal for women too, but there are certain things that women definitely have an advantage over than men do, and I think exactly like a situation like that is a good like example for that.
Yeah, and it's kind of fucked that the media is always very fast with spreading oh, I cancel this person, but then when there's counter evidence, then it's not spread as fast anymore. That's not as exciting. That's not gonna get as many clicks.
But it's in general, like every news article, it's fucked that that's how we do news these days. It's like, oh, we need a headline. We need something that everybody clicks on. It doesn't even matter if the article is real. It's the
Yeah,
headline is
and
catchy, it's all good.
and that's exactly kind of what I went through this week, right? Because I kind of felt like strangled headphones. And I think it was Nietzsche who said, like, there are two types of people in this world. You have free men and slaves, and you're not a slave unless you have like 2/3 of the day for yourself. And I found myself like, I would take breaks when I was doing uni or something like that, but still I would check the news. And I kind of realized that the news before the news was just a list of things you need to know, right? And I feel like with this whole mass media thing, it's not a list of what you need to know anymore. It's just a fuckload of information that you don't know. Especially nowadays. I mean, Dutch news is just shit, 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 rain, shit. That's the news. That's
Yeah.
all there fucking is.
Yeah.
So yeah. Where was I gonna go at this point? I have no fucking idea. But yeah, that sometimes maybe it's okay to just take a break from social media or news platforms, because you should realize how they affect you as a person.
Yeah. And it's
And in
healthy
general,
too.
yeah, I feel like in social media and in the news lately too, like wealth, success, and admiration is really valued. Where at the moment, myself, I value more like integrity, love, fulfillment. I know, like those topics. I don't really see that in the news nowadays.
Not whatsoever. You don't see positive shit in the news. You don't. Everybody wants to create panic. Everybody wants to get people to read. And the biggest thing is fear, where it's like fear and anxiety makes you click on an article. And then it's a fucked up thing that's the way news is being presented, at least most news.
I mean, Alabama Man was pretty cool last week.
Yeah, that's the things that make you smile, but also I wouldn't say that's like an act of love still. It's like something you laugh about, but I wouldn't say him stealing, like robbing a bank and stealing the car afterwards, or like buying the car afterwards. I mean, it makes your heart melt for sure, makes you fall in love with Alabama Man, but maybe for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. No, I do share that opinion. The news is still out there. It's just a bit harder to find.
Yeah. Talking about news, though, there's one thing, and also we mentioned conspiracies before, let's get into something real quick, right? We love to do it. And it's about Germany, right? And I actually got this piece of information from my mom. So
she's a reliable source.
Yeah, but she's not saying. No, what I'm saying is she's really not a conspiracy theorist, right? Like she sent me this video and she's like, oh, what do you think of this? And it's a very weird story. So first of all, it's reported by RTL, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like somewhat like a semi-small show of RTL, so I don't know how much exposure it really got, but the video is going around. And it's about this dude in Germany who developed his own corona vaccination. Right, it's just this dude who like sold his company for like $1 billion, like I don't know, a couple of years back, bought his own laboratory, and has this like anti it's basically it's against COVID, and it's proven that it works, and he's not the only one saying it. It's a lot of people saying it, right? And vaccinations in Germany are going hella slow right now, slow.
They are, because you guys when people started vaccinating, you were on the top of the charts, and right now, like even the Netherlands surpassed you.
Yeah, and it's strange. And the thing is that he says with the way, like with his antibody that he has, we could supply like Germany. It like because it's so easy and cheap to produce, even it would take 2 to 3 months to get all the vaccination that's necessary to get everyone in Germany vaccination. And this is getting like no media coverage except for this like really small thing, and he's not getting any state support.
Yeah, I've seen the same shit in the Netherlands, but it's a bit more complicated than that, because you need to get the right you can't just produce a vaccine, you need to get the right certificates for it and shit, and that just takes a whole long time. And I think with Germany, the mistake they made is that they sold more vaccines than they should have. Like, you had enough. Just gave them away.
But man, that's Germany for you. It's like how we treat Greece. It's just also like let's just like, here you have all the money. But like that's what I mean. Like, it's not really conspiracy theory, but I thought it was just interesting to mention. And you're probably right with the regulations, but like at least from what the bias of the short little report, from what I gathered from it, is that it doesn't really seem to get any state support, which is interesting.
That is.
Yeah, man, it's I don't know. I mean, we'll see how this COVID situation goes in general. We'll see how long.
I gotta say, for the first time in weeks, months, maybe we finally got some positive news in the Netherlands regarding COVID. Like, I mean, like I feel like everyone's done with COVID, but COVID is not done with us yet, right? That's kind of the situation we're in. But at least the end is in sight now. It's still a long route, and it's still gonna be a fucking bitch, but it is in sight. Like in the Netherlands, everyone should be vaccinated by the end of June, I think.
Everyone in the Netherlands.
Yeah, we're going fucking crazy.
Yo. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
Well,
crazy.
I think
That's crazy
in
fast.
April we should already have vaccinated 4 million people.
Damn.
Yeah,
You
we
guys moving
started.
fast.
Yeah, we started late, but kind of what the Netherlands did that was very smart. They made sure we had a backup. Even now, like we could vaccinate even faster, but we're sure we have a backup. So even if there's a truck with vaccinations going to a place where they vaccinate people and it crashes, then still those people could get vaccinated because we have some in the back, you know.
Okay, that's nice.
Ah.
Ah,
Can you imagine that shit? Like then we would still have the entire summer if everyone is vaccinated by June.
that'd be sick. But like, doesn't it take a while to like kick in?
I'm not sure, but then still I don't know how long, and it's still a couple of months until everything starts again.
Uh, I also heard not to, I think vaccination, it's a good thing that we reach that point in modern medicine that we can like produce this shit so rapidly and so quickly. I just really, really hope that that's all it does, like cure COVID. And then because like there's even some shit, like there was one vaccination, I think they had it also in Germany, I don't know if you heard about it, maybe they also had it in the Netherlands, that actually has caused a couple of deaths, that like completely like made the heart pump way too fast and everything, and people actually died from getting the COVID vaccination.
Oh shit!
And I forgot the brand of it, but I think it was only off the market like a week, and now it's back on. And they said, "Oh yeah, we fixed it," but it's like,
Mm, yeah, I would
I
be
don't
kind of
know.
hesitant to take that one then.
So I hope, man, I hope everyone stays safe, just and stays
Yeah.
healthy.
My I think the funniest shit is I think it's especially in the States when people say like I don't want to get vaccinated, then I'm gonna get microchipped and I'm gonna be followed everywhere, they're gonna track me, and then they still carry around a phone with Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Google. Like you're already being tracked. What the fuck are you afraid of?
That's very true. That is very true, man. I just know the next Black Mirror season is gonna be fucked.
Oh damn. I
Like,
mean, South Park writers and Black Mirror writers are looking at these times like, ha 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 ha, ha. Oh, juicy content.
true, but like, oh man, like it's really like now is a rough time to make that type of content. Like I feel like everybody has an anxiety anyways, and then just to push the shit even further.
Yeah.
But there are great shows. Like, I'd watch it, but still.
Uh, with Black Mirror, I can always appreciate. At least we're not there yet.
Yeah. Let's hope. I feel like it's also it depends. I wonder if like any Black Mirror episode is like based on like a true story. Now, if no, I know most of them are somewhat futuristic, but some of them also play in our time.
Yeah,
So
I think China introduced that now. I'm not sure how it works. I think I read something about that. They kind of introduced I don't know if you've seen the episode with the liking system
yeah,
where everyone would rate you. They're kind of doing that now too.
I saw that, like the social
Yeah,
score or whatever it
the
is. Like,
social score, indeed. Yeah, they're kind of implementing that in China right now. But yeah, no one knows what the fuck China's up to anyway. So
but I mean, China, like if I look at like who's the world power right now, we always talk about US, Russia, China. For China, like
I
100%
don't know shit
China.
about China, and that's the thing. Like
It,
I think like I don't know. It's
I
fucking
mean,
China.
exactly, but everybody producing their products there, from like car companies, like I know like BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, they all producing in China. And I mean, I'm also not too informed about it, but that's also because you don't hear shit, right? You don't hear
That's what
shit.
I mean. Like I don't know shit about China.
Yeah. And it's you know what I thought was fucking weird the other day? Like TikTok is a Chinese app, right?
Yeah.
And since I got a little bit lucky with the algorithm, I guess, recently,
Uh-huh.
I keep doing like a TikTok every once in a while, and I did one about dragons, right? About like
Uh-huh.
how they've been depicted in history, and like it's actually a really funny story for like the
But
Chinese creation.
dragons haven't been depicted in history.
I mean, in a lot of myth.
Yeah, okay, myth, but that's that's something different than history.
True, but it's also the Chinese creation story, and like the Maya and Inca, they have like a creation story of how the world was created by a snake with feathered wings. And they both say that, like Chinese culture and Mayas and Aztecs. And it's like that's a weird coincidence. So I don't know, but point is, right, so like I said something about the Chinese history, and you always need to put in like hashtags, right? Like, I mean, you know it from Instagram, but in TikTok it's also a big thing. So I, like did a couple of hashtags, whatever, like this, that, and that, and I wanted to use hashtag China, right? Because it was about Chinese history, and I figured it's a Chinese app, I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
hashtag has to have a lot of views. Because like you always see, if you type in a hashtag, you see how many views that hashtag got. So
Okay.
as an example, right? Hashtag architecture has 9 billion views.
Sick.
Take a guess how much the hashtag China has.
Yeah, I would assume way more, but kind of from your tone of voice, I can tell that it's gonna be fucking low, like something fishy is up.
Take your guess. Could be either.
Yeah, either or, huh? China. I'm gonna say what was the other one? 9 billion?
Yeah,
Then I'm gonna say 1 billion.
98. Not
Oh
billion.
shit.
Not billion. 98.
Huh.
And
Yeah,
and China with two A's, right? So like not the way you spell it.
China.
China with two A's has like 500 million. So it's like,
Yeah, there's something going on there.
like what the fuck? And like I don't know, but like, isn't it weird that we really like we don't hear shit about China? We don't. We have no clue what's going on there.
No, but yeah, it's a country of censorship, right? So we're not supposed to,
I
and
mean,
they're not supposed to know about us. So,
but I
but
feel
it
like,
is really, it is so fucking weird to me that, uh, like people are actually living in China. There are people who are being censored, and I wonder how aware they are that they're being censored and that there's this other world out there.
yeah. And
And
isn't
automatically, I think, like, do they know there's a better world out there? But technically, I don't even know if this is the better world. Maybe China is the better world, and I don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. It could be, because I feel like also the pieces we hear about China are also always propaganda against China. Like
Yeah.
I don't know when I saw like something positive being said about China, you know?
Speaking of China, I haven't heard of the Hong Kong protesters in a while,
Yeah,
and I
me
really don't
neither.
know if that's a good thing or not.
I have a couple of viewers from Hong Kong, so like I need to talk to them about it, but I don't think like they seem like everything is calmed down a little bit for
Uh,
whatever reason. I don't know the reason why it has calmed down, but at least I don't
but
think it's
that's
that
always
active
either
anymore.
or, right? Like, oh, I didn't hear from them in a while. I
Yeah.
didn't hear from them in a while.
Exactly. So I hope they're doing all right, man. But like also China, isn't China like the biggest country in the world in population, or like the second biggest? I think they have over 1 billion people.
Yeah, they had the one child policy, right? Because it was getting out of hand.
A billion people in one
Yeah.
country, and we don't know shit about them. Like,
I wonder how many times we've already said China in this podcast, and if it affects if we're gonna get canceled or not.
probably completely, this episode never happened. We uploaded on every platform. They're like, I'm not gonna use hashtag China for this one. That's just I'm gonna stay away from it.
Yeah, but how fucked is that, a one child policy?
Uh,
Are we gonna have a boy or an abortion?
Shit. And I don't even want to know how many people there have just like exceeded the policy, and they have people like, as they did back in the days where they had people living in the basement or something, and like if you have a kid and you didn't want it, I put it in the basement, let not the guests see it. It's like What the fuck?
Yeah, in general, like of course they implemented the one child policy, but before and after it was already kind of a one child policy where you had multiple kids, but you worked on your farm, or well, not in the city because the city's fucking expensive, and one kid was able to go to college or to study in the city, and the rest would work. And sometimes was even more fucked. One kid was able to work in the city, which they always thought was fun, and then they ended up working in a factory, with crazy hours. But then still, the opportunity was only there for one kid. So now, even without the one child policy, like it's still like talking of like equal chances in the world, like equal opportunities. One kid.
It's but like even that, but don't they also, I heard this on, I think on Joe Rogan. He said that in China there are office buildings who have suicide nets around them because it
Yeah,
happens so much.
yeah,
And you're like, what the fuck?
yeah. Suicide. It's a really crazy thing in Asia, like also countries like Japan, and they literally have like companies that just exist to take care of dead bodies in apartments that people just forgot about. Like it can be that people die and people don't know for like 3 months, and then the neighbors start smelling something, and then they call the cops, and then they check it, and then there's a cleaning company that gets rid of the dead body there.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I mean,
Imagine being that fucking lonely that you're dead for 3 months and no one knows. Like,
and man, I
and then
can't
then people
even.
wonder why the suicide rate is so fucking high. Imagine how fucking lonely you are.
And imagine you work 17 hours a day, like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's
Like,
also really common that you fall asleep at your workbench, right?
yeah,
That you take your nap then.
man, I think living there has to be crazy, but then again, we actually have no idea how it is. I have
Yeah,
no idea.
I have seen some documentaries about like a Dutch reporter who went to China, but still, like I have no idea. Like I have some sort of an idea. That dude is fucking crazy. That's like the widest dude ever. He is fluently in Mandarin. He speaks
Damn,
it fluently. Yeah.
that's a
So then
flex.
he would go to like China or Mongolia or something, and they would start making fun of him, and then he would like reply in the perfect Mandarin, like, "Yeah, I know what the fuck you're talking about."
That's a great thing to do, man. Being able to speak being able to speak Russian or Chinese. I mean, Chinese is even harder of a flex. But like, man, that has to be crazy.
Oh, it's always so fucking fun on a holiday when you hear people that are from your country and you're abroad and they don't know that you're also from the same country. I remember hearing that these two girls talk in Dutch because I'm Dutch. Like, oh man, is your vagina also so sweaty today? Like, Jesus fuck. And I just started laughing, like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then they realized, like, that's Sudachi. Shit.
I love when that happens though, man. It's the best. Because especially tourists, they really think it's a superpower, to have this language that like locals can't speak, you know? And it's I don't know, it's a weird concept, but do you look real stupid if other people can't speak it?
It's always such a golden moment when you're abroad and you hear someone swear in your language and you're like,
Yeah.
that's my dude.
What's up, my guy? It's always like, especially like how global the world is right now. I mean, maybe not right now, but like in general, it's a great thing to like, no matter where you are, you're always going to find at least someone who is able to speak the language that you're speaking.
Yeah.
Yo, I heard the craziest story the other day.
Tell me
um
all about it.
I think there's this dude named David. I don't want to butcher the name. I think David Shaw, David Chow. It's this blonde Asian dude, right? And it was also on a Joe Rogan podcast, and he
Bart
has
Baker?
no. That's maybe, but the dude has a crazy story. So like, he hitchhiked the world starting when he was 15, and then like lived in Israel on a farm, and like in states and everywhere. And then when he was 18, back in the 90s, so like no cell phone, nothing, he read in a National Geographic paper that there's a dinosaur in the Congo in Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he said, fuck it, I'm flying to Congo. And Congo was in a civil war, right? So like there's complete war going on and everything. And the dude just
Uh-huh.
goes to the jungle of Congo and tries to find a fucking dinosaur, you know, and that whole story is so bizarre. And then he almost died in the jungle, like he was lost in it and everything. Like
Really?
it's a mental story. And then 10 years later, he like Vice hit him up and it's like, yo man, don't you want to go back to Congo and see if you can find the dinosaur this time? And he said fuck it. And that Vice video is one of the weirdest videos I have ever seen. Like it has the most chaotic energy. So I can send you the link after. It's like a 10-minute video and it's a blessing.
Please
Yeah.
do so. Man, especially like those stories are so fucking crazy. Because I was thinking about it. Like in the Netherlands, we have Laura Dekker. I don't know if you heard of that name.
No, sadly I didn't.
Laura Dekker. She's a girl, and I think when she was 16 or something, she sailed around the world on her own. Like did a full like
With 16.
16 on her own around the world sailing.
Yo.
And you know the crazy thing about this is like when I was her age, I would sit in class and look out of my window and like think of those things, you know, fantasize of, imagine of, oh, what would it be like, you know, to just get off and go somewhere. And she just fucking did it at 16. She actually fucking did it.
That's crazy. Like that's
Yeah.
the biggest fuck it moment, you know? Like at what moment do you just, you're 16, you pack your sailboat and you're like, let me sail the world. Fuck it.
Yeah, let's go around the globe.
Oh man, especially like over the Atlantic and the Pacific and shit, that has to be so rough sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the sea can get really rough.
Yeah, but just the sole fact that usually people are just dreaming of it, and she just fucking did it.
Idle. I mean, honestly, that's some crazy energy right there. You gotta really fucking respect it.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. Okay. I mean, isn't Greta doing like similar type of shit? I mean, not that she's sailing the world, but I know she sailed to America from like Sweden, I think, where
Yeah,
she's from.
because she didn't want to pollute, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
statement, but I feel like she's also really
Also a flex.
definitely a flex. I mean, she in general, like being this highly political figure when you're like a kid, it also
Yeah.
has to be kind of weird.
It also can be healthy. Like I'm all for it, but this also can be a healthy childhood. But then
Can't
again,
be.
who has a healthy childhood anyway? So
But I would not surprised if she one day would become like Chancellor of Sweden or whatever. Like I would not be surprised. Like with that
yeah.
career as a young kid, you know, man, like, I think off to a great political career.
Yeah.
But she set herself up to a life of sailing. You know, if she ever been caught in a fucking airplane, then she's gonna hear something.
True.
I,
Yeah.
I mean, she gets a lot of hate, which I think is a very, you know, I don't know, a weird thing.
Yeah. Do you think that should be a thing, by the way? Like flying tax?
I don't know. I think the biggest polluters of this world are the big companies, you know, and if they put on their fucking Coke bottle, please recycle on it, it's kind of like, you know, what the fuck are you doing? You know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, of course it's important that each individual recycles. I don't want to take away from it, but like, how much are we doing as an individual and how much is a company like Coca-Cola doing for the
Yeah.
world pollution?
Coca-Cola is the fucking worst when it comes to pollution.
I mean, that's just an example, you know, but like even the
Yeah, and
meat industry, everything, it's crazy.
yeah, and it's so weird that like when you have a plastic bottle and when you recycle it, it's not gonna become another plastic bottle. Like that's not possible. A lot of people think like that's how it works. Like, okay, I have a plastic bottle and I recycle it and then I have a plastic bottle. No, that's not how any of this works. So you still need to produce a shitload amount of plastic bottles, and it kind of, I feel like even Coca-Cola is participating in selling this story of, oh no, now the amount of plastic in the world stays the same. No, it fucking doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No, it fuck.
And
It's
even worse with recycling, like in the Netherlands, we try to recycle as much as possible, of course. Some things you just can't recycle. A lot of packaging is just stupid, that in a way it's constructed that you can't recycle it. But even fucking worse, what we do in the Netherlands, we collect that, send it to India, and they burn it there, and there they pollute their own fucking atmosphere. Yeah.
What the? Who came up with that plan? What is this?
That's just not my problem. So Indians, if you're listening, I'm very sorry.
That's fucked up. Now that's the reason why we're gonna get canceled. But it's a fucked up reality that we live in. Like that just richer countries do that shit to like countries that don't have as much money, you know, to just say, oh, take our trash, you know, or we have some atomic waste too. Bury that on your on your ground, you
You
know.
can take that. You
But
can
we
take
all
one for the team.
but we all walk on the same earth, you know, and we have a
Yeah.
fucking island in the middle of Pacific that's just trash.
Yeah.
Like,
What's
what
it
is
called
this?
again? Plastic soup or something?
Isn't it just like Trash Island or something? I want to see how big it is. Let
I
me
don't know.
quickly.
That sounds like the perfect reality show though. Trash Island.
Probably is. How big is the the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? That's what it's called.
It's gotta be my next favorite insult, man.
Yeah. I like that they don't even come on, give me a number or something. What is this? But it looks like just from the map, it looks like it's about the size of, I'd say, like Texas, California, and Arizona combined, and we have like 3 of them in the Pacific.
That's a very oddly specific estimation you have there.
I'm just looking at the picture and I'm like, you know, because they like it's just the Pacific, so I just California is right next to it. I don't know, but definitely way too much. You know, that's one thing we
Yeah.
can all agree on.
Now, because we love Texas so much, like paying tax, not taxes. Well, we also love taxes.
Yeah.
What are your stance on meat tax?
Oh, like being like paying a tax for buying meat.
Yeah, like paying a little bit extra money for meat.
I think it would be a good thing, but I'd really try to avoid buying meat in a grocery store. Like, if I go buy meat nowadays, I just try to make it either I do it in a restaurant and I hope that they get more quality meat, or I do it.
Yeah. But this is not necessarily for you then, but this is more for the people, like to disencourage the people who do want to buy meat. Because right now I feel like the vegetarian option is a little bit more expensive. I'm not quite sure. I haven't bought meat in a while. I do know vegetarian supplements or whatever the fuck, like fake meat is pretty expensive.
Very, like $4 for like two small slices or whatever and shit.
Yeah. So like a meat tax, and even if there's also more money available for the innovation in these fake meats, so we have a bigger variety, maybe even cheaper, I'm all for it. To just make people second guess when buying meat, because sometimes, especially like in discount, meat is way too fucking cheap, way too tempting to buy that shit.
Yeah, and it can't be good. Like if really like a fucking kilogram of meat is out here like costing you €3 on a discount, you know, it's like that's so wrong. It's so wrong.
It's a standard price at a supermarket here. I think it's like 7 sausages, and it's always like 170 or something.
Oh, and it's so fucked because like I even if we talk about people, right? Like we are, animals also live on this planet, and if we look at all the animals, I think we are the odd ones out, right? You don't see bees doing a new thing every year, but here are humans, oh, we need a faster car this year, we need something else. And it's a shame that we treat the animals in the way that we treat them, because they also, have the same right to live on this planet as we do, but we just, humans see
man,
themselves.
But it's also difficult. It's also so difficult. Man, like I felt so good because I am pescatarian, sometimes flexitarian, and I do eat like animal products like eggs, but then I do buy the biological eggs. But now I found out that the biological eggs are even worse when it comes to like the threat of a new pandemic, because those chickens still come in contact with each other and also with other birds that are outside. So I don't know, like also gotta keep an eye out for the next pandemic,
And I think it will happen. It will happen more often now.
Like, yeah, and I'm not saying like maybe I've formulated it wrong. Like maybe the next pandemic, but just the next flu in general. Like it doesn't need to be as bad as COVID, but still, there can be a new flu that's gonna kill a shit ton of people or a shit ton of animals. I mean, it's not that long ago that we had the pig flu, right?
Yeah, yeah, like swine flu and like bird flu is also a big thing.
Yeah.
It happens again and again, and I mean, it's I really don't know, but I think overall we're gonna really see an increase in viruses in general. We're getting too many people, and we're fucking putting chemicals everywhere we go, and that can't be
Yeah.
good. It can't
Yeah,
be
and it's
good.
just kind of weird to me that we keep looking at, okay, how are we going to come out of this pandemic, but we also need to start looking at how we're going to prevent the next pandemic.
Yeah,
That makes sense. And I understand you can't just shut down all animal markets and shit like that, because that's usually where they come from, right?
but I don't want to bust out the old cap, but like, is the virus like from a market in Wuhan?
Okay, but let's say it is, then we should, if that's the reality, then we should try to prevent it, I feel like.
100%, 100%.
Fun fact, by the way, now that I'm studying Spanish, I had to analyze the Spanish economy after Corona. And because of the pig flu, China had to kill like, what, 60% of their pigs or something. And like the economy of Spain fucking bad, but the exporting pigs skyrocketed. They sold or exported or sold more pigs in 1 month than they did in one entire year just to China. That also shows how many fucking people are in China.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But Spain happy, I guess.
Yeah, no, Spain not happy. Spain is gonna have a state debt of what was it gonna be, like, way too fucking much. It's gonna increase with like 102%. I think they're really the next Greece of Europe.
But I think there are a lot of candidates. Isn't Italy is doing as shitty, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a little bit better, but can't be much.
I mean, also, like, same for Spain and Italy. Like, the tourist sector is just on its ass.
Yeah. And that's such a big factor for them. Like, they live off of tourism.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine all those? At least that's what I did as a kid. You went to those like cheaper holiday countries like Turkey, and then you would have the area where the resorts are really nice, and you would go 10 meters out of the resort area. Everything is like you are in poverty. Like, those people who just could get by from the one summer that tourists gained, they're like, how are those people doing now? What have they been up to?
Man, it's a fucked up thing. I think this COVID thing, also shutting down the economy the way that we did, I don't think it was the right move to make. I think we're gonna have the repercussions in the next couple of years, but we'll see how it goes. I'm just happy I'm not the one making the decisions.
Yeah, in general, it's so baffling to me that our economy that we built in the last, 60 years, a little bit more, that it collapsed in one day, like entire Wall Street. How?
Yeah.
Like, we really need to reevaluate what construct we built, and if we want to continue that construct. If we want to do something else, now's the moment. Like, this is the on hold reset period. If we want to do something else, do it now. Sadly, I'm not smart enough to come up with something else, so I'm not going to do it. But if you feel like you are, please do so.
Also, same thing. It's one thing to come up with something, which is also incredibly tough, because it's always going to be unfair for someone. But it's also another thing to actually get that through to the people who are actually at the top of like capitalism, right? Where it's like, why would we change shit? But they're the ones in charge. So it's like, how are you gonna put it through to people that are benefiting the most off of it?
Very true. But and I don't want to disencourage people. Change is possible. I mean, look at fucking Greta Thunberg. The fuck she's doing. Who would have thought a kid that young would do such amazing things and have such an impact?
Truly impressive. I mean, I think a lot of students were just really glad for her, but it was also very necessary for it to happen. Very necessary. Just, I don't know, a lot of, especially like climate change, a very big topic for, I think, our generation, especially.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of our issue now, huh? It's not necessarily something we started, but it's something that we need to deal with.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
At least if we would stop denying it, that would already be a great thing.
Man, a lot of things would be a great thing to change up a little bit, because we've been running the system for quite some time. So man, I hope just we find a solution that everybody can just live I mean, I'm not saying we're living all like bad lives right now, but I feel like we could live better lives. Not saying I have a solution, but maybe.
Yeah, but I think we talked about this in an early episode of the podcast. But like crisis is bad, but it's also the moment for innovation and shit.
Yeah,
Like this is the moment. People sit at home, they have time on their hands. That there is a possibility to actually do something now. So as bad as this whole situation is, maybe it will bring us some good. Maybe we needed this. I don't know.
I think we definitely deserve this as the species, to like have a fucking, because like we've been doing shady shit for way too long without like repercussions from nature, really.
So it's just humans being canceled. I see.
Cancel culture, right back at it.
Yeah. Now this the circle is we completed the circle.
Yeah, very
It's how
fair.
we started this episode, and now we're back to cancel culture.
Yeah, maybe that's a good way to end it too. I mean, we're an hour in, I think.
Oh, that's decent.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the listeners have heard enough of us this week.
But this time with faces, let us know what you guys think of it.
Of our faces, please don't.
Also true. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a nice thing to like at least maybe now the viewers, even if now not every episode is a camera, and maybe like we're also going to do in person, of course, because it just feels nicer, like a conversation, even though I like the way it was today.
Yeah, and we have to see how well this turns out technology wise. We don't know yet.
Very true. But we can hope the best.
Yeah.
On that note, guys, have a great week. Thanks for listening, and see you next week, hopefully. Take care.
Peace.